Many of you have asked for more higher belt roles on the channel, so here is a brown belt. And next up is a black belt from Brazil, but today is a brown belt from Tobago, Julian, who has spent the majority of his time training in the UK. We start off grip fighting, feeling each other out. I use my shin on his armpit to push him forward to create some movement from him, in hopes of creating an opening, but no luck. I then reach through his armpit to grab his tricep, in an attempt to hit an arm drag so I can take his back, but he steps his foot onto the ground to create more distance between his back and me, and creates a barrier stopping me from getting to his back. However, this does give me access to his leg, and I could try to come up for a wrestle up, but instead I do the opposite and go back down to start working to take the back. I direct his hands to the mat to make his legs lighter. Now it'll be easier to manipulate his legs with mine. The goal is to put his hips in my lap so I can take his back, but he does a great job defending. This is what I was trying to do. With the failed back take attempt, I'm left in a bit of a vulnerable position and he starts attacking a double underpass. So I prioritize not letting him pin me to the ground and prioritize hiding my back from him. I get onto my elbow, which builds base, and start framing on him with my left arm. Once I have enough space, I get my butt between us, which hides my back from him. This is something I'll do often when I'm in trouble and need to quickly make space between my torso and my opponent. I use my butt as a tool, the same thing I do on my OnlyFans. I'm a bit susceptible here to the over-underpass, but he isn't fully committing his weight enough to control my hips, and I'm able to posture up and threaten a guillotine. This forces him to posture up to stay safe, and I use that reaction to my advantage by wrestling up. I land on top with an underhook, but the underhook can be used against me if I can't get something in front of his knee to control his hips. That something could be my right knee or my left knee or my hand, etc. And in this case, that something ends up being my hand, but I manage to lose it and lose control of his hips in general. To stay safe from potential triangles or omoplatas, I just abandon position by posturing up. In the process, I quickly try to drive his knees to the side for a side smash, but that doesn't work out. Then I try to backstep with my right leg, but that also doesn't work out. So I kind of just float over him and see what I can get, and I end up in a pretty good passing position. This low posture type of headquarters with a near side underhook. He circles his left foot out, but this ends up to his detriment as I then staple his right leg with my right leg. I keep my near side underhook so I can keep him pinned. He's left unable to curl his body inward into a ball. I then switch to stapling with my left foot so I can then step over to mount, but he sees it coming and blocks my path to mount. I step over anyways and pull my left foot out before it can get stuck in his quarter guard. I now go to work, jacking his arm up. I want his elbow either at his shoulder line or above it, not just for arm triangles but the majority of upper body submissions. I do pass my head to the other side for an arm triangle, but again, his elbow is above his shoulder and this affords me the ability to enter to the armbar, as the frame of his elbow is no longer in the way, stopping me from getting my hips to his shoulders. When I enter the armbar, I hook onto his leg with my arm, to make it less likely he'll be able to rotate into me and onto his knees. I don't want him on top where it'll be easier for him to escape. He's got the rear naked choke style grip, which is difficult to break, so instead of trying to break it, I treat it kind of like a puzzle, or a gift I'm trying to unwrap. I take my leg off his head so that his hand is no longer under my hamstring. I can take my leg off his head safely because I have control of his leg. Both of those things are used to stop him from coming up on top, so I only need one. Look how I pull his hand out of the way using my arm that's underhooking his leg. I use this technique all the time to deal with the rear naked choke style defense to the armbar. Once I get his wrist in the crook of my elbow, I know it's basically a done deal, as this gives me a lot of leverage to extend his arm straight. Now I switch to two hands on his wrist and work to position his thumb in the same direction as my hips, and that's all she wrote. There's more cool stuff coming, but first, we all have goals we once chased but had to let go of. For me, it was becoming a professional MMA fighter. I had a perfect amateur record and had real aspirations to go pro. But when COVID hit, I had to choose between choosing a career in MMA or going all in on teaching Jiu-Jitsu both online and in person. I chose the latter. I am proud of that decision, but I'd be lying if I said I never wonder what if. Letting go of that part of my identity was very hard, and sometimes it still feels like that. And if you're facing similar crossroads, where one choice means leaving another choice behind, talking to a therapist can really help. A therapist will listen, ask questions, and help you see things through a new perspective. They can give you advice and techniques to make positive changes in your life. BetterHelp is the paid partner of the video, and they're on a mission to make starting therapy easier. Fill out a questionnaire and you'll be matched to a therapist as soon as possible. Plus, you can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost to you if it's not the right fit. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/JTJJ and get 10% off your first month of therapy. We start again and feel each other out for a bit. I attempt a dummy sweep, and he steps back to defend, which gives me access to his lead leg. I do this often, not just from sit-up guard, but from standing as well. As I try to finish the single, he locks up a Kimura grip and pulls me into basically the T position. I remember this taking me by surprise, and I think that he might have slipped a little bit, which really brought me down fast. Right away, I explosively rotate into him to free my elbow of his control. One thing that he could have better prioritized was to flare my elbow to help prevent rotation, as well as keep my elbow in front of his chest so that his chest would act as a barrier, also preventing rotation. As I escape, I feel the threat of the guillotine coming, so quickly I look up to keep his arm away from getting underneath my chin. That was a close one. I always try to be in control the entire round if possible, and I definitely felt not in control and in danger in that moment. I'm not fighting overly hard right now to prevent him from gripping and setting up passes because I want him to come to me so I can counter, but he's not really fully committing to anything, probably because he senses that. Eventually I'm able to again grip inside his armpit and onto his tricep for the arm drag, and he counters similarly to last time, but this time I'm able to move his legs using mine to clear a path. To avoid the back take, he concedes top position. He sweeps himself, which is a very common and effective thing to do to avoid the back take from the arm drag. I'd rather concede the sweep than have my back taken as well. As I come up on top, both my legs are on the inside of his, so I keep one knee up for the purpose of avoiding closed guard. Being put in closed guard wouldn't be a huge deal, but it would add extra steps. My knee in the way acts as a frame to prevent him from getting closed guard. Standing up also makes it harder for him to lock up his closed guard. Often I would try to split the guard from here, but I find the space and opportunity to hit a leg drag. This is some cool footwork or leg work to step over to mount. Attacking the mounted triangle can sometimes be risky, as it can be hard to transition to without leaving space for an escape. If you transition right to it, it's usually fine, but I mean more so when you have one arm in, one arm out from mounts, but are not fully in the mounted triangle yet, it can be tough to fully get there, so I have to be careful. I abandon mount to try to make that transition easier, but Julian senses the danger and positions his right arm in the way to stop the triangle. His right arm is now on the inside, preventing my hamstring from getting to his neck. I then try to transition to the armbar instead, but he pulls his arm out. Before he can get fully out of danger, I snatch up the front headlock. I can't get the guillotine because I can't get control of his hips in time, although he avoids me controlling his hips, but as a result, falls into my anaconda choke. I can tell right away that my arm isn't deep enough. If I can get my hand just a little bit deeper onto my bicep, I know it'll be a wrap. I unlock my grip so I can get it deeper, but Julian is now prioritizing not letting me re-grip. He's grip fighting, and as he rotates, my grip becomes even more shallow. So I'm forced to abandon the anaconda. So much Jiu-Jitsu is about creating rotation and preventing rotation. I cover this idea and more important concepts in detail in my Jiu-Jitsu theory course. I now pop up to knee on belly, trying to get some movement going, trying to capitalize on his movement, but no luck, and Julian frames to make space and rotates his body to get back to his guard. I quickly re-enter and split the guard, meaning one of my legs is between his two legs, and I take an underhook in the process. I often would knee slide from here, but I must have felt like I didn't have the ability to based on Julian's reaction. But that underhook does give me the open elbow, and the open elbow is a trigger for a Kimura grip. I just need to switch which arm is underneath his elbow, which I do, and then lock it up. I then roll onto my shoulder into somewhat of the T position to pass the guard, and I'm waiting to attack based off his reaction. I get to my knees before he does, and start putting his hand behind his back for the Kimura submission. That was a pretty fun roll, so thank you, Julian. Alright, thank you for sticking around till the end of the video. If you're still here, please leave a comment or a fist bump, and I'll see you guys next time. I had a lot of fun training in Tobago. Let me know where you have visited and had a good time training, and maybe I'll go there.